On one of the last videos, actually I think it was maybe 2 videos ago, I'm not sure, there was a question if our gimbaled stove will still gimbal even with the added thickness of the tiles, and it does still gimbal. I did have to shave off with the razor blade a little bit right there, but yeah, no problems with that, so good news there. Alright, so the wind predominantly comes out of the south, and that's down that way, and so it's just blowing our tarp on this corner here, and so I'm going to try to rig it up to hold it away better. And then I got just some white duct tape to patch it. And then the corners are frayed, so I'm just going to try to maybe melt them so they don't get any worse. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, here we go. Okay, duct tape applied on the inside and on the top of the corner here of the windscreen. I just use a little bit of this to clean up things so the tape would stick better. Let's go do the outside. There we go, patch on the outside. Hole is here. Good. Now, I'm going to try to rig up something here to try to pull this away from the cabin top. That's next. Alright. So, I was going to rig something up with the sail tie, but that wasn't working. The bungee cords were doing a better job. So I just repositioned a couple of the bungees. And it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's gonna, you can see it's not touching the corner of that anymore, but it's not great. I need something that like sticks out here to hold it off. We'll see how that works. The tarp wasn't very expensive, but we just needed to get through the next 3 months or so until we can get this dang thing on. And we're only waiting for 3 months because the weather. It's just so cold and wet right now that it's hard to do epoxy work, fairing compound, sanding, painting, priming. Can't really do that in the wet weather very easily. So wet, cold weather. So this is just trying to get us through the next few months. Alright, that's project 1 for today. The next project for today is, happy winter by the way, is what's in this box here. So frequently, for the last few months, we've been filling these at Mom and Dad's house for drinking water. But this is new hoses, new filters, water filtration system on the dock, not in the boat, just on the dock, which is fine because we wanted that anyways. But that is coming up next today. But first, coffee. Alright, water filter day. So, one of the things we've been doing is filling these at Mom and Dad's house for drinking water. This we use for washing and cleaning up. But drinking water, cooking water, coffee water, we've had to use this because the dock water here, it's potable, but it has some chlorine in it, a lot of chlorine and maybe some bleach in it. So what we've got is a new water filter setup. So imagine this is from the hose bib, the spigot on the dock. This is a Flexzilla hose. I think I got this on Amazon, but it's supposed to be okay for drinking water, potable. So the water comes from the dock through this hose, and then it'll hit the 5-micron filter for sediment, particles, stuff like that, like solids. And then it'll run through this connector here. I just wanted a short connector to connect these two up. And I have some fittings with various conversions on them to run between the two. And then from there, it'll go through this filter, and this one is a 0.5 micron carbon block filter. And that would filter out, that's intended to filter out the chlorine, the bleach taste. Yeah, so a little finer filter there. And then it's going to run out of that, and I will probably hook up this flow meter out here. So I want to see how much water we're putting into the tank, because we actually don't know exactly how big the tanks are. So this flow meter, and then that'll hook into this little 10-foot hose, which will hook into this fill spigot. And this fill spigot has a on-off valve here, so I can, when I'm standing, because the side of the boat where the fill is about right there, so the fill up there comes down, and then our tanks are under the floorboards here. So if I'm over there filling and it starts getting full, I have to run and over here and basically shut it off at the dock. So, but this one I can just shut it off right there when it starts getting full. And then the idea is all of this, well, the filters at least, will be mounted on this board. It's an old piece of plastic board that actually all the old water maker parts were mounted to. So I'm going to reuse this hardware, and it connects up this way really nice, but I really need it vertical like this. So that way it'll be one unit, it'll all be mounted there, and I can coil it up. The hose, of course, will just stay on the hose reel, but all the filters and the canisters and this will just sit on the dock. And then I'll use this to run up, it's 10 feet, so I'll use this to run up from the filter assembly up the side of the boat, and then this will be what is inserted into our fill hole on the deck. So that's the plan, and we will check in a little bit. Okay, so quick update. I've got most of this figured out, but so notice how we have in, out, in, out. Okay, so again, the dock water comes in here, goes through the 5-micron filter, goes out here, through here, into this, and I don't have a fitting that goes here, and this one can't screw into that because the threads don't match, so I need to go get something that'll join those two. But then my little counter is hooked up, and then that hooks up nicely to this, and then the out goes here. One of the things that I didn't like about this model, I mean, it seems to be well built, but it's made for RVs. But what I don't like is this is just compression fit on there, so I'm going to add a hose clamp onto there. Yeah, and then so I need to go figure out how to join up these two. Another thing to mention is I would recommend trying to get more clear ones of these. They're not exactly white translucent, but it is more clear just because you can see the condition of your filter without having to unscrew it. So that's why I got these, and I mean it's a pretty color too. But okay, so we will add this clip onto there, and then I have to go figure out how to join those two up. Okay, back from the homeless despot, and we have a female to female adapter. So I have one here, one of these female adapters here. So the end of the hose is going to go into that. This is going to go into here. This is just a spacer to give me some space between these two. And then this other double female connector is going to go right on there. Something like that. And now this one will screw in there. And then we also picked up at Home Depot this guy. It's a swivel. I'm just trying to, there you go. Because I was kind of worried that this guy being on the end, I mean, he wasn't super expensive, but he just seemed a little more fragile. The flow rate counter. So this kind of swivel guy here will take off some of the stress. So if I'm over here working on this hose, he'll just swivel and take off some stress. I also got this Forstner bit, so I can drill a hole for my mounting hardware. And yeah, we are in a good spot to hurry up and get this thing done. Okay, quick update. Stopped at Home Depot and got some of the parts that we needed, but we also got this Forstner bit. Quick tip, 3/4 inch and 19 millimeter are the same. Almost identical. For this purpose, it's the same. So we got a 3/4 inch for our 19 millimeter, I guess, I don't know what these are called, but they will fit in right there. And I got all 4 of those drilled out for the 4 on each of those. And so these are actually going to sit in like that. So next step is to drill out a hole for that center circular piece to go down in through the center of that. It was the first time I was using this Forstner bit, and it's really nice. I just checked the depth on the other side, marked it with a pencil, and then drilled down to that depth, and then came back and checked it with an actual piece here, and it worked out really well. So next is to drill the center hole so we can through bolt it and put it all the way through. Alright, quick update. So in order to get these seated in their little holes that I drilled out, because if you see, they have these spikes that bite into the material to help hold it in, and I can't just press it in there. So what I've been doing is I take one of the, fortunately the screws are long enough to where this sits up. I take a screw with the washer, and then I take a nut on the other side and I just tighten it down, and it squeezes in. So that's how I did those 4, and now we'll start over here. Okay, so you can see I've got the screw in there, the piece with the little spikes is back here, and then the nut over there.
So I just tightened the nut, pulled the screw in place, and then that sucks it together and embeds our little spiky guy. Okay, this was definitely one of the harder parts. So all of these are in, and now let's grab our canister assembly. And those are gonna line up like that. And then this one is gonna line up like that. Okay, good. So on some of these, like this one has a gasket on the inside, this has a gasket, this has a gasket, but this, that, and that don't have gaskets. So you can see I put a little bit of just Teflon tape to seal those threads. And so this is installed final. These I left a little bit loose because I wanted to allow, when I screw on the additional hardware, I wanted to allow some play. So the next step is, let's get these bolted on, and then that is almost done. All right, it's done. So let's follow this. So this is the 100-foot of hose that'll just go connect to the supply from the dock. It runs up here. It comes into the 5-micron filter for sediment, dirt, simple debris, chunk debris. Flows over into the charcoal block filter, and that's where we filter out chlorine, bleach, stuff like that. And then it goes out to this swivel nozzle here, so I can move it around and position this however we need, and it puts less stress on our meter. So this is going to count how many gallons we are putting in the tank. And then this flows out to this filler here, and I added a hose clamp on that. And then that goes into the tank fill hole, and of course we can shut off the flow of the water here, like we were talked about earlier. So I'm really happy with it. It sits on the dock just about like that. It's a little bit heavy, and then when we fill it with water, it'll be even more heavier. So I'm thinking about just adding a little strap here through these two holes. Yeah, but it's done. And we reused the old water maker, the seawater maker, the reverse osmosis Spectra water maker, control panel, mounting panel. So in a way, we are reusing our water maker to make water. The other thing is, so Devin wanted me to point out where we got stuff. So this is Amazon. The filters were discountfilters.com, I think. The casings, I believe, were Walmart. This connector here was Amazon. These female to female connectors were Home Depot. The thread converters, NFT to, I don't know, some American thread to NFT thread, I don't know, those were Amazon. This swivel was Home Depot. The gauge was Amazon. This hose here was Amazon, and this filler was Amazon as well. But the fittings and the hardware up here we had on hand, and yeah, so we're done. It's dark out now, so I can't take it outside and try it out, but that'll be what we do tomorrow. So I am very happy with this project. more to come.
All right, so a nice little upgrade today. Old hose, new hose.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode.